Hello and welcome to another quick action video. And today we're going to be talking through our dream test 11 of the 21st century, Bangladesh versus West Indies. And this is because there is a upcoming test series between these two nations, so we thought it'd be good to do that. And as you can see, the West Indian team here, we don't have players like Michael Holding and Joel Garner because this is based on 21st century, so those players are before that era. So we're going for specifically 21st century players. And to start with, Bangladesh. So we've got our openers, Tamim Iqbal and Shahrin Hafiz. What do you think of these guys, Jay? Because these guys were good left-handed batsmen, weren't they, in their time? Well, Tamim Iqbal still plays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tamim Iqbal by far the best opening batsman Bangladesh have ever produced, and even to this day, being the one-day captain. Yeah, he's got a good average as well of nearly 40 in Test match cricket, and yeah, from what I recall from the mid 2000s until now, yeah, he's always got a good amount of runs, high strike rate, quite an explosive opener. So I don't think there could be anybody else apart from Tamim Iqbal and Sharia Nafis. I mean, our sort of viewers may not recall much about Nafis, but in the mid 2000s, he was quite a good sort of batter. And that was sort of reflected in when he got a century against Australia, against the likes of Shane Warne, Brett Lee, and Glenn McGrath in 2006.
Yeah, exactly. 100% correct. And moving on to Mohamed Ashraful, number 3 player. He's a little bit like our Ricky Ponting, isn't he, of this team? He was a good right-handed batsman, all-round wicket, played really well, played big hits well, defended well. He actually scored a century on debut as well at Colombo. So very promising start to his career. A bit of a shame that he faltered around a bit and didn't quite make his way as time went on. But you got any comments on him or?
No, just I just remember him being the best player Bangladesh had in the mid 2000s, and then yeah, he slowly declined after the 2010s. So yeah, just he's still quite young, isn't he? So a lot of unfulfilled potential for Ashraful, but still a good player.
Yeah, still a good player and still worthy of this team, and we've got him there right at number 3. And moving on to Saqib Al Hasan, no question marks here. Probably the best player they've ever had, isn't he?
Yeah, by a distance, batting wise and bowling, and yeah, I mean he's probably the only player who has a contract with IPL. So yeah, he's the best player Bangladesh will ever have, and could walk into many of the international teams right now.
Yeah, and it's probably a little bit like Mushfiqur Rahim as well, because he's a very handy wicketkeeper, Mushfiqur Rahim. Good all-round batsman as well, because if you think back to Bangladesh before they became more kind of known in Test cricket, they didn't really have many great keeper batsmen. I can think of Khalid Masood, who was a keeper batsman they had, but he wasn't the best batsman really. And Mushfiqur Rahim, somebody who's actually come up for Bangladesh and scored hundreds as well. So yeah, good player, isn't he? I don't know if you've got any other comments on him.
No, very reliable and solid, and he was the captain, wasn't he, at one point? So yeah, good glove work, good takes a lot of stompings, and yeah, good batsman as well.
Yeah, and then Aftab Ahmed at number 6. Not a bad player actually, Aftab Ahmed. He was a good right-handed batsman. His stats aren't all that great to be honest, but stats sometimes don't prove the full picture of a player. And he was actually somebody who did well in a few innings. He did well against Australia, I remember, in a one-day match, though, in 2004-5. I think it was that era when England beat Australia in the Ashes. He had a good knock against Australia, and he was kind of a good finisher for Bangladesh in more in ODI cricket. But good all-round game, good technique. I don't know if you had any other thoughts on Aftab Ahmed actually there.
No, not much on Aftab Ahmed, but I knew when I saw him play, he did have some sort of stellar performances, and yeah, as with most the Bangladeshi players, very reliable, hard-working cricketers, isn't it?
Yeah, and then moving on to Mamdullah, or Mamdullah Riyad is his full name. He is somebody who's very, very good player, isn't he? He's a good all-round player, good lower order batsman, but also a good off spinner as well. He's 34 years old, so he's still got probably a good few years ahead of him. Made his debut in 2009. But yeah, not really much to say, is there, about him, other than he's just a good player for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mobadilla, a very good player, especially in the lower order as a batsman. So yeah, very, very good choice in this Dream Test 11.
Yeah, he probably walks into the team, and he'll probably make it in quite a few international teams. I can think of teams like South Africa, and probably teams as good as India or Australia, even probably having him in their squad. Very good player, all round player. But we've got Mashrafi Mortaza, number 8, somebody who's probably been quite good for a while for Bangladesh, but I don't know if he's really made a massive impact on their progression as the Test team. I don't know what you got any thoughts on him, or probably a handy player, isn't he, Mashrafi Mortaza? I think he's probably somebody who's been around he's been around since kind of 2003, hasn't he? 2003-4, and somebody who's he's been in the limelight for a while, Mashrafi Mortaza, but he's probably not, as I say, he's probably not somebody who's pushed their team to the next level. I don't know what you got any comments on him, or
No, yeah, I think I thought at one point he would have just been one of the best bowlers or fast bowlers in the world, but I never fulfilled that potential either, and Bangladesh should have profited more from a player like him, but it wasn't to be.
no, exactly. Well, we've got Abdul Razak at number 9, another left-arm spinner, another Bangladeshi left-arm spinner. Good ODI career, really, but Test career maybe not as strong. But handy player, isn't he, to have a number 9?
Yeah, exactly. Test match, not so much. But if you were to replicate his performances in one-day cricket, then yeah, definitely, a handy, useful bowler and
Yeah.
batsman at number 9.
Yeah, and the number 10, probably not an easy choice this, because there was another player who I had in my mind, Shadat Hussain. I don't know if you remember Shadat Hussain, but he was a good bowler for Bangladesh. Rubal Hussain was gone for here. So Rubal was a good player. He's got a bit of an unusual action, hasn't he, Rubal?
Exactly, yeah, he's sort of like a Lasith Malinga to some respects, isn't it? A bit sort of slingy as such, and quite difficult to read by opposing batsmen. So, yeah, he's a good bowler. Yeah, quite quick as well. So, I think he's a good choice at number 10. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of their better players they've had, and obviously Mustafizur Rahman, he's a very good player. He's only 25, Mustafiz, and he's left armour, good action. He's taken a lot of good wickets, actually. I remember him causing trouble against people like Rohit Sharma in ODI cricket, especially, and some of the other Indian batsmen, actually, as well. I remember him doing quite well against India. But in the Test team, more than capable of being there and performing well for them, I think. So he's kind of a new age cricketer, isn't he, for Bangladesh?
Yeah, exactly. He's one that Bangladesh should sort of build their team around, isn't it? Yeah, very good bowler, different to the ones that they've had in the past, and he's a good. I do enjoy seeing him bowl.
Yeah, he made a good point there, because he's got a bit of attitude as well, and he's got a little bit more about him, a bit of charisma and stuff, which is what they may have lacked before historically. So yeah, good player, and overall, it's a sign of how much they progressed, because we're looking at players here from the early 2000s, and if you're just looking forward to people like Mustafiza in the recent times, it shows in 20 years they've progressed a lot. So yeah, West Indies. So we've got the openers here: Chris Gayle and Wavell Hines. Wavell Hines, great style about him, didn't he? Wavell Hines. He had a bit of a calypso charisma.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Wavell Hines had a bit of a swagger about him, isn't it? Like the West Indian swagger, and he didn't do bad in terms of like average either. I mean, 34 is not really something to be ashamed of, especially in the last 20 years of West Indian cricket, which has unfortunately been somewhat of a decline. So, yeah, Wavell Hines, I think, yeah, with his attitude, he did maybe just, sort of put some fear into opposing bowlers occasionally, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing about Wavell Hines is he actually used to bat in various positions, because we have him here as an opener, but he did bat low down, didn't he, as well at one point? I think he batted number 6 and 5, and he was quite versatile with the way where he batted. So quite a good player there, Wavell Hines, as an opener. And I can't think of many others. There's probably Darren Gango, isn't there, that comes to mind, and a few others, but no major other batsmen there. Chris Gale obviously standing out there as the opener. No really need to talk about him too much because his name just speaks for itself, doesn't it? And he's still playing the IPL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't really say much about Chris Gale. I think most of our viewers and most of the world know about Chris Gale, and still going strong at 41 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And Carl Hooper, number 3. Good player, Carl Hooper. I'm just looking at his stats. He had an average of 36.5, so not bad. Best of 230. And also, he was a handy off spinner as well.
Yeah, I enjoy watching Carl Hooper, especially after 2000 as well. So yeah, he's a good all rounder, and that's something maybe this current West Indian team sort of lack, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got Brian Lara, number 4, which we can't really complain about. He's probably. Do you think he's the best batsman you've ever seen, or maybe at least one of the best, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll put him in the top 2 or top 3. Definitely. I mean, I watch Brian Lara a lot. In the 21st century, even before that, highlights from the early 90s and mid 90s, and yeah, I don't think there are many other batsmen that can hit a ball as elegantly as Brian Lara.
Yeah, hard to kind of argue on that. I'd say he's probably in my top 4, Brian Lara, of my era, along with Ponting and Kallis and Tendulkar. But yeah, very very good player, and obvious reasons to have him at number 4 and captain, because he was a good captain as well. Brian Lara wasn't just about the batting. Chanderpaul at number 5. He went through a phase, Chanderpaul, where he was best Test player in the world, wasn't he? In the mid kind of 2005 to 10 era, he did really well.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, he was really, really consistent for a period of time, and yeah, Mr. Reliable, wasn't he? And they had that sort of odd sort of batting stance, which was amusing to some respect, but quite effective at the same time. So, yeah, definitely, definitely has to be in this squad.
Yeah, and then we've got Ramdin as the keeper here. Not many keeper choices I can think of here. Did you have any others in mind? Maybe Ridley Jacobs is what comes to mind, but around this era, not sure.
Yeah, yeah. I would say Dennis. Yeah, Ramdin has to be in there. Purely just because of longevity, probably being the permanent wicketkeeper for like the best part of 10 to 15 years, isn't it? So you can't really argue with anyone else, right?
Yeah, they've had a few choices, but as you say, Ramdin was a good batsman as well, not just a good keeper. And he just seemed very calm, Ramdin. He had a very relaxed style about him, which I quite liked. And sometimes you need that when you're playing cricket. You want relaxed players. You don't want people stressing you out all the time on the field, do you? So I thought he was good. And then Bravo, number 7. I think he's probably the best number 7 I can think of, having seen cricket for 20 years. Good all rounder, good with the slow ball, massively good with the slow ball, wasn't he, Bravo? And continues to do well in white ball cricket.
Yeah, exactly. He's a quite clever cricketer. Definitely. In Test matches, he was actually quite good as well, and also in the limited overs game as well. But yeah, Dwayne Bravo, very reliable. But I would have liked to see him score like more centuries. I know he batted quite low, but I would have liked to see him score a lot more runs than he did.
I think he was one of those players that maybe a high impact player. He was somebody that kind of lacked a bit of patience, with the batting side of things in Test cricket. He was somebody that might have scored 30 or 40, but probably lacked a bit of focus to get that extra 50, 60 and bat out the whole day kind of thing, which is what you need in Test cricket. So you can see why he maybe struggled with scoring massive runs in Test cricket, but very good dynamic player, wasn't he? And Sunil Narayan, we have at number 8 because we think he's probably the best spinner they've had recently, isn't he, Sunil Narayan?
Yeah, definitely. I think he just slightly edges it over the likes of Suleiman Ben and the likes in Test match cricket. So yeah, very very good spinner. I think most batsmen at one point, maybe in the early 2000 and sort of tens, were quite scared of Narayan. They didn't really know how to play him or pick him, isn't it? So definitely one of their best finds.
Exactly, yeah, and he was, very good find in the IPL as well because he managed to show how good he is with batting as well. So good player Narayan, and a shame that in Test cricket he's not really done all that much, but it's one of those things with cricket these days. But we have 3 good bowlers here. We've gone with Fidel Edwards at number 9, and a good bowler, wasn't he, Fidel Edwards? Somebody who bowled with good pace. He had a very unusual action as well.
Yeah, Fidel Edwards was quite a nippy bowler. Yeah, he had quite a leapish action, didn't he? And yeah, he did well in the mid to sort of late 2000s, especially against England. That's at one point, isn't it? So yeah, Fidel Edwards, yeah, it was good to watch as well, isn't it? He's good quick bowler to watch.
Yeah, because just looking at his stats, he's played 55 matches in Test cricket. He has an average of 38, so it's not really the best average you'd expect from a quick bowler, but he really was a very good find for West Indies, and his action, as you say, was very unusual, and he used to hit the bat really hard. 90 miles per hour was not really much for him. So Tino Best at number 10. Another similar bowl to Fidel Edwards, wasn't he, Tino Best? Another quick pace bowler.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, from Fidel Edwards and Tino Best, I mean, they also had a bit of attitude about them, isn't it? So even if they did get hit to the boundary, they would probably just get in the opposition faces and then start bowling quick and sort of relentless. So yeah, and with Tino Best, liked Field Edwards. Yeah, it was quite good to watch, and had a good action and took the odd wicket here and there, isn't it?
Yeah, he was quite explosive, Tino Best, with the way he bowled, and he was very much in your face. And he did have his heart on his sleeve a lot of the time. And I thought, as you say, a lot of attitude. Very good find for West Indies. A shame maybe that he didn't probably fulfill all his potential, but he did reasonably well and bowled well in patches. And number 11, Jerome Taylor, another good find for the West Indies. I thought he was amazing with his action. I thought he had a great action, and he also bowled with good pace as well, didn't he, Jerome Taylor?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jerome Taylor was a good bowler. Yeah, good pace as well. He was reliable to some extent. So maybe in terms of economy as well, right? So just to slow down and run, flow in. Maybe similar to Kemar Roach as well, isn't it? Sort of similar build and maybe pace as well. So, but Jerome Taylor, yeah, he was in the West Indies set for years, wasn't he? At least 10 years.
Yeah, he was around for a while. He's 36 now, and just looking at his stats, he's played 46 matches. 35 is his bowling average. So again, probably not the most amazing average that you'd think of for a bowler, but he was a high impact player, and when he bowled, he did make things happen. And I can remember Jerome Taylor doing very well against England because I remember quite clearly when England collapsed once when they went to the West Indies and they were all out for not many runs. And Taylor was a massive, massive reason for that. So, yeah, he did well in patches throughout his career, didn't he? And a bit similar to the whole kind of West Indian team around that time where they had players that would come in and do well, but wouldn't be around for ages. A bit like you mentioned about Suleiman Ben, another player who came in, did well, but probably was somebody that struggled.